you ever find yourself navigating a world that feels increasingly loud, fragmented, and demanding? Perhaps you wake up already feeling the weight of the day, overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information vying for your attention, or the subtle anxieties that seem to permeate every aspect of modern existence. Do you struggle with managing that sudden surge of anger that bubbles up, threatening to derail your peace and relationships? Or maybe you look around your social circles, scanning through countless online connections, only to question the authenticity of your friendships, wondering who truly stands by you in the face of adversity. The constant pressure to be perpetually on, to achieve, to perform leaves many of us feeling depleted, seeking genuine anchors in a sea of superficiality and fleeting trends. We crave clarity, emotional resilience, and authentic connection, yet often feel lost in the endless scroll and the noise of conflicting advice. Now, imagine for a moment that the profound answers to these intensely modern dilemmas aren't hidden in the latest self-help bestsellers or the trendiest mindfulness apps dominating your feed. What if a brilliant mind from 2 millennia ago, a Greek philosopher and historian who lived under Roman rule, actually possessed the timeless insights to help you navigate the intricate complexities of your 21st century life? Forget the image of a dusty, inaccessible academic confined to ancient texts. Imagine instead a remarkably perceptive and empathetic observer of human nature, a kind of ancient life coach who understood the human heart, its struggles, and its triumphs with astonishing clarity and practical wisdom. His name is Plutarch, and his remarkable collection of essays, aptly titled Plutarch's Morals, offers an astonishingly direct, relatable, and deeply effective guide to living well, even when the world around you feels overwhelmingly challenging and unpredictable. He wasn't merely theorizing in an ivory tower. He was actively observing emperors, generals, citizens, dissecting their virtues and vices, their successes and failures, and distilling universal truths about human behavior that resonate just as powerfully today as they did when he first penned them. In this video series, we're going to embark on a fascinating journey into Plutarch's Morals. Our promise to you is to strip away the ancient language and academic jargon to meticulously distill his timeless wisdom into practical, actionable advice that you can immediately apply to your life today. We'll explore his profound perspectives on mastering anger, discerning true friendship from mere acquaintance, cultivating inner peace amidst external chaos, and forging genuine character in a world that often seems to reward its opposite. This isn't just a delve into history, it's an opportunity to unlock an ancient, forgotten secret to a more meaningful, resilient, and certainly less anxious life, right here, right now. Welcome to a journey back in time, not to dusty archives, but to a mind that speaks directly to our modern struggles. Today, we're diving into a collection of wisdom often overlooked, titled Plutarch's Morals. But before we open its pages, let's meet the man behind the words, Plutarch. He wasn't just a writer, he was a Renaissance man centuries before the Renaissance. Imagine a figure who served his community as a respected magistrate, dispensing justice. Picture him as a venerable priest at the Oracle of Delphi, guiding spiritual seekers. Envision him as a dedicated teacher shaping young minds, and of course, the prolific biographer whose parallel lives gave us intimate portraits of famous Greeks and Romans. Plutarch was, in essence, a professional human being, deeply immersed in the world around him. Now, about Plutarch's Morals, or as it's more accurately known, Moralia. Don't think of it as a single, intimidating tome. Instead, envision a vast personal library, Plutarch's own digital collection, if you will, but carved on papyrus and parchment. It's a sprawling compendium of essays, dialogues, and treatises, each one a thoughtful exploration of a specific aspect of the human condition. Think of them as ancient blog posts, written by the wisest person you know, covering everything from managing anger and raising children to the subtleties of friendship and the pursuit of true happiness. What makes this collection so profoundly relevant today, over 2 millennia after Plutarch put quill to scroll? It's simple. The fundamental human problems haven't changed. We still grapple with difficult emotions, seek meaning in our relationships, strive for justice, and ponder how to live a good and virtuous life. Plutarch was writing about us, even if he didn't know it. His insights offer a mirror to our own experiences, providing guidance and perspective that feel remarkably fresh and applicable. So, this isn't going to be a dry academic lecture. Forget the stuffy classroom. Consider this a friendly conversation, a shared exploration of timeless ideas with an extraordinary guide. We're going to unpack these ancient wisdoms together, discovering how Plutarch's observations can enrich our lives right now. It's an invitation to think deeply, to question, and to find practical wisdom for the here and now. Okay, let me take you back a few years. I was in a situation with someone I deeply respected, and they did something that completely blindsided me, leaving me feeling betrayed and frankly enraged. I obsessed over it, replaying conversations, strategizing confrontations. It was exhausting. I lost sleep. My focus at work suffered. I felt like I was dragging this emotional weight everywhere. I stumbled upon Plutarch's Moralia, specifically his essay on tranquility of mind. I wasn't looking for therapy, just something to distract me. But as I read, a sentence, or rather, an entire train of thought, hit me like a revelation. Plutarch wasn't telling me what to feel, but how to approach the things that disturb my peace. He talked about recognizing the futility of dwelling on things outside our control and the destructive power of allowing another person's actions to steal our inner calm. It wasn't about excusing their behavior, but about reclaiming my own state of mind. It fundamentally shifted my perspective from how do I make them accountable to how do I protect my own peace. It allowed me to detach, to choose my response, and eventually to truly let go of the consuming anger. It didn't solve the external problem immediately, but it freed me. And that, in a nutshell, is why I'm here. This isn't just about exploring ancient philosophy. It's about unlocking timeless wisdom that can genuinely impact our modern lives. I want to share these personal discoveries with you, not as academic theories, but as practical tools for navigating our own complex worlds. Now, I know what you might be thinking, Plutarch. Isn't that dense ancient Greek text full of obscure references? And yes, it can be, but fear not. My promise to you is this: I'll translate these profound ideas into simple, clear, modern language. We'll strip away the historical dust and find the beating heart of wisdom that's just as relevant today as it was 2 millennia ago. Together, we'll explore how these insights can offer clarity to your own struggles, just as they did for me. Welcome to Plutarch's Morals, an exploration of ancient wisdom for modern lives. In our first chapter, we tackle a profound question that underpins much of Plutarch's philosophy: is goodness a skill you can learn? Plutarch believed, quite emphatically, that virtue isn't some ethereal quality bestowed upon a select few at birth, nor is it merely intellectual knowledge. For him, goodness is not something you simply are, It's something you do, and crucially, something you can learn and master. He challenged the prevailing notion that moral character is fixed or innate, instead positioning it as a practical skill, much like any other discipline we acquire throughout life. Think of a craftsman dedicated to their art, a sculptor perfecting their technique, or an athlete tirelessly refining their movements. A musician doesn't simply pick up an instrument and play a concerto flawlessly. They spend countless hours practicing scales, learning chords, enduring frustrating repetitions until the intricate movements become second nature. Similarly, a skilled artisan hones their craft through consistent effort, learning from mistakes and gradually achieving mastery. Plutarch argues that moral excellence operates on precisely the same principle. It's not about being born a great public speaker or an expert carpenter. These are skills developed through deliberate practice. In the same vein, virtue, be it courage, justice, moderation, or wisdom, isn't a gift, but an accomplishment. We don't wake up one morning inherently compassionate or incredibly honest. Instead, these qualities are forged through repeated choices and actions, much like an athlete strengthening their muscles through rigorous training. This perspective shifts our focus from grand, heroic gestures to the quiet, persistent work of daily living. Moral progress for Plutarch isn't about waiting for a momentous opportunity to display courage or charity. It's built in the small, consistent, almost invisible decisions we make every single day. It's choosing patience in a frustrating moment, honesty when it's inconvenient, generosity when nobody is watching. Each small act, performed repeatedly, builds a habit. These habits, over time, sculpt our character. Just as tiny brushstrokes eventually form a masterpiece, consistent virtuous actions shape a good life. This understanding profoundly challenges the convenient, yet ultimately disempowering, idea that some people are simply born good and others born bad. Plutarch would contend that such a belief robs us of our agency and excuses us from the hard, rewarding work of self-improvement. If goodness is a skill, then everyone possesses the potential to cultivate it, regardless of their starting point. It implies that we are not passive recipients of our moral destiny, but active architects. It means that moral failure isn't a sign of an unchangeable defect, but rather an indication that more practice, more diligent effort is required. It's an incredibly optimistic and empowering message. Virtue is within everyone's grasp, provided they are willing to put in the work. If Chapter 1 laid the philosophical groundwork for virtue, Chapter 2 brings us down to earth, offering a practical blueprint for building character. Plutarch, ever the pragmatist, understood that character isn't an abstract ideal bestowed upon us, but rather the living sum of our daily choices, our repeated actions, in essence, our habits. It's the architecture of our being, constructed brick by brick, habit by habit. He implores us to pay close attention to seemingly insignificant details of our lives. We often dismiss small indiscretions, minor lapses in judgment, or fleeting moments of impatience as inconsequential. It's just this once, we tell ourselves. But Plutarch saw the danger in such thinking. He argued that these seemingly trivial actions are the very seeds from which major virtues or vices sprout. Just as a tiny leak can sink a great ship, a series of small unchecked negative habits can erode our character's foundation. Conversely, consistent small acts of kindness, discipline, or integrity gradually build an unshakable inner core. He'd ask us to be vigilant, to self-examine regularly. How did I react to that minor inconvenience? Did I speak truthfully even when uncomfortable? Did I follow through on a small commitment? These micro-decisions, he believed, are the true forge of identity. Recognizing self-improvement can be a daunting internal struggle. Plutarch also offers a powerful external aid, the emulation of virtuous role models. He encourages us not just to admire great figures, but to actively study their lives, understand their choices, and consciously incorporate their virtues into our conduct. By choosing someone whose wisdom, courage, or justice we admire, we create a tangible benchmark, a living example to guide our decisions. When faced with a difficult choice, we might ask ourselves, what would do in this situation? This mental exercise provides clarity and strengthens our resolve, helping us to see beyond our immediate impulses. Finally, and perhaps most reassuringly, Plutarch understood the human condition. He knew that the path to virtue is not a straight line, but a winding road filled with setbacks and imperfections. His philosophy doesn't demand immediate perfection, but rather consistent, earnest effort. The goal isn't to be flawless, for that is an impossible standard, but to be always striving, always improving. He reminds us that every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. The commitment to progress, learning from mistakes, and getting back on track after a stumble that truly defines strong character. It's the persistent gardener tending to their plot, knowing that some weeds will always appear, but committed to their removal and the nurturing of healthy growth. Embrace the journey, celebrate your incremental gains, and remember that the very act of trying to be better is, in itself, a profound virtue. Welcome back to our journey through Plutarch's timeless wisdom. In this third chapter, we confront a danger far more insidious than any outright enemy, the subtle poison of flattery. Plutarch meticulously dissects flattery, not as mere compliments, but as praise deliberately crafted to manipulate, to gain favor, rather than to reflect truth. It's a performance, a strategic weapon wielded by those seeking to exploit our vulnerabilities. Why are we so incredibly susceptible to this artifice? Because, at its core, flattery feeds our ego. It whispers sweet nothings that validate our preconceived notions of self-importance, soothing our insecurities and inflating our pride. We crave affirmation, and the flatterer provides it in abundance, regardless of its basis in reality. It's a comforting lie, and comfort often trumps truth in our minds. This constant stream of insincere adulation creates a perilous echo chamber. Flattery prevents genuine self-improvement by systematically hiding our flaws. If everyone around us is constantly lauding our every action, praising our every decision, how can we ever recognize where we fall short? How can we learn, grow, and adapt? It blinds us to our imperfections, making us complacent and resistant to constructive criticism. An open enemy, by contrast, at least shows us where we might be vulnerable, offering an unvarnished, albeit hostile perspective that, ironically, can sometimes be more useful for self-assessment than a chorus of praise. But Plutarch offers an even more profound warning. The most dangerous flatterer isn't always an external force. Often, it's the flatterer within ourselves, our own self-deception. We are remarkably adept at rationalizing our shortcomings, at painting our mistakes as minor mishaps, and at overstating our virtues. This internal voice, whispering assurances of our perfection, is perhaps the hardest to silence. It reinforces the external flattery, making us utterly impenetrable to honest feedback and personal growth. To truly understand ourselves, we must first confront this internal charlatan, this deceptive part of our own psyche that seeks to shield us from uncomfortable truths. Plutarch's insights compel us to cultivate a fierce love for truth, even when it's inconvenient or challenging. Only by recognizing and resisting both external and internal flattery can we hope to achieve genuine self-awareness and cultivate the virtues that truly define a noble character. Let us strive to be discerning, to question praise, and to seek out the difficult truths that pave the way for true excellence. Welcome back to our exploration of Plutarch's morals. In this fourth chapter, we tackle a timeless and critically important question: how to know a friend from a flatterer. Plutarch, with his profound understanding of human nature, offers invaluable guidance on discerning genuine companionship from mere sycophancy. This isn't merely an academic exercise, it's a practical, essential guide for cultivating meaningful relationships in our own lives. One of Plutarch's most telling distinctions lies in consistency. A true friend is remarkably consistent in their character and support. Their presence isn't conditional, it doesn't ebb and flow with your fortunes or their immediate needs. They are there in your triumphs, certainly, but more importantly, they remain unwavering in your trials. A flatterer, however, reveals themselves through opportunistic shifts. Their affection blooms effusively when they seek a favor or gain, only to wilt conspicuously when the opportunity fades or the going gets tough. Observe their constancy, it's a powerful litmus test for sincerity. Consider next the flatterer's chameleon-like nature. They are masters of mirroring, echoing your every mood, your every opinion. Are you joyful? They're ecstatic. Melancholy? They deepen their frown. This isn't genuine empathy, it's a calculated, often transparent performance. A true friend, conversely, possesses an independent mind. They have their own distinct thoughts, feelings, and a well-defined personality. While they cherish your happiness, they won't simply reflect sorrow back to you. They'll offer their perspective, comfort, and sometimes a necessary guiding challenge. This brings us to perhaps the most crucial test: the willingness to offer difficult, constructive criticism. It's effortless for someone to agree with you when you're right or simply expressing a harmless opinion. But a genuine friend, one who truly cares about your well-being and growth, will not shy from telling you what you need to hear, even when it's uncomfortable. They possess the courage to speak truth to friendship, even when it risks temporary displeasure, especially when they see you veering off course or making a regrettable decision. Conversely, the flatterer will agree with everything, literally everything. No idea is too outlandish, no plan too ill-conceived, no complaint too petty for their enthusiastic endorsement. Their primary goal is to maintain your favor, stroke your ego, and ensure they never create friction. They will cheer on your worst impulses, validate your most dubious choices, ultimately leaving you isolated in your own echo chamber, incapable of self-correction. They're the ones who will tell you your dreadful outfit looks magnificent, or that your truly terrible business idea is genius. They fear your displeasure more than they value your actual progress. Plutarch teaches that distinguishing these two types of individuals is paramount for a life well lived. By diligently applying these practical tests, observing consistency, noting independent thought versus mimicry, and valuing constructive criticism over blind agreement, we can cultivate genuine friendships that truly uplift and empower us. This wisdom helps us gracefully sidestep those who serve only their own interests under the guise of affection, building a robust inner circle of allies who genuinely contribute to our growth and happiness, just as Plutarch intended. Welcome to Chapter 5, Taming the Beast Within, where we delve into Plutarch's profound yet practical insights on controlling anger. Plutarch, ever the keen observer of human nature, viewed anger not as an inherent evil, but as a temporary madness, a potent, often destructive force that can be understood and mastered. Unchecked rage warps our judgment, damages relationships, and robs us of inner peace. Instead of simply admonishing us, Plutarch offered actionable strategies for its management. Our first step, Plutarch suggests, is to become keenly aware of anger's physical manifestations. This means recognizing the subtle harbingers before the storm fully erupts. Do you feel a sudden heat, a tightening in your chest, clenching in your jaw, or a quickening pulse? These bodily cues are early warning signals from your inner system. Detecting these physical signs, perhaps a knot in your stomach or rigidity in posture, gives you the invaluable advantage of catching the beast while it's still a cub. Early recognition grants you a crucial moment to intervene. Once these signals are noted, Plutarch advises wielding the immense power of delay. This is his most potent tool, creating a deliberate pause between the impulse to react and the subsequent action. It's an enforced moment of space. Imagine a narrow gap between a spark and tinder. Widen that gap and the fire may never catch. This delay could be counting to 10, stepping away, or taking deep breaths. It allows the initial emotional surge to dissipate, preventing harsh words or regretted actions. Plutarch understood that in the heat of the moment, reason is often the first casualty. A brief reprieve gives reason a chance to return. Following this pause, we question the very source and legitimacy of our anger. Is this fury truly justified or disproportionate to the offense? Are we reacting to a genuine slight or merely a minor inconvenience, misunderstanding, or even an imagined slight born of our own sensitivities? Plutarch urges objective scrutiny. Often, upon cooler reflection, our anger stems from trivial matters, inflated grievances, or underlying anxieties. This self-interrogation helps us discern if our indignation has a solid foundation or is merely a tempest in a teapot. Finally, Plutarch champions the transformative practice of empathy. Before anger consumes you, endeavor to step into the other person's shoes. View the situation from their perspective. What might be their motivations, pressures, or misunderstandings? Perhaps their actions were unintentional, driven by ignorance, or their own pain. This shift can be remarkably deflating to anger. When we understand the context or intent, the impulse to condemn and retaliate often softens into understanding or pity. Empathy allows us to see humanity in the perceived offender, dissolving the rigid barriers anger erects. In sum, Plutarch's approach to anger is not about suppression but intelligent management. It is a pragmatic call to self-awareness, self-control, and compassionate understanding. By recognizing early signs, creating a deliberate pause, questioning its validity, and practicing empathy, we move from being slaves to our passions to masters of our own minds, truly taming the beast within. Welcome back to our journey through Plutarch's timeless wisdom. In this 6th chapter, we turn our attention to an often overlooked, yet profoundly powerful human faculty, the art of listening. Plutarch, ever the keen observer of human nature, dedicated an entire essay to this very topic, recognizing its fundamental role in a well-lived life. He famously, and quite simply, stated, "Nature has given us 2 ears but 1 tongue." This seemingly straightforward observation carries immense weight, suggesting a natural predisposition, an inherent design, that we should listen twice as much as we speak. It's a call to prioritize reception over transmission, understanding over articulation, echoing throughout his works as a cornerstone of learning and virtue. Too often, We mistake listening for mere silence, a passive state of waiting for our turn to speak. But Plutarch, and indeed common sense, teaches us that true listening is anything but passive. It is an active process, a deliberate and concentrated effort to genuinely seek to understand another person's perspective, their feelings, their knowledge, and their intentions. It requires focus, empathy, and a willingness to set aside our own preconceptions and judgments, if only for a moment. It's about being fully present in the conversation, absorbing not just the words, but the subtext, the tone, the unspoken messages that often carry the greatest weight. When we truly listen, something remarkable happens in our interactions. We communicate, without uttering a single word, that the other person is valued and respected. Their thoughts matter, their experiences are worthy of consideration. This profound validation builds trust, strengthens relationships, and fosters an environment where genuine connection can flourish. Think of how you feel when someone truly hears you out, not just nodding politely, but genuinely engaging with what you're saying. It's an empowering experience, isn't it? Plutarch understood that this respectful engagement is the bedrock of strong communities and meaningful friendships. Furthermore, in an age brimming with constant noise and chatter, Plutarch reminds us that silence, far from being an empty void, is a fertile ground for growth. When we choose to be silent, not out of awkwardness, but with the intention to listen and absorb, we create an opportunity. It becomes a space to internalize new information, to process complex ideas, and to reflect on what has been shared. It is in this quiet absorption that knowledge transforms into wisdom. We don't just hear facts, we integrate them, allowing them to shape our understanding of the world. Silence, then, is not an absence of sound, but an active presence of receptivity, a conscious choice to open ourselves to learning and insight. Plutarch's insights into listening are as relevant today as they were millennia ago. In a world clamoring for attention, the quiet power of a genuinely attentive ear remains one of our most potent tools for learning, for building profound relationships, and ultimately for gaining true wisdom. Let us take his counsel to heart and cultivate the art of listening in our own lives. Welcome to Chapter 7 of Plutarch's Morals. We explore an impulse both ancient and profoundly modern: curiosity. Specifically, needless curiosity, Plutarch's term for what we now recognize as FOMO, the fear of missing out. Plutarch defined needless curiosity as the relentless pursuit of others' private affairs or trivial gossip. It's not the healthy desire to learn, but an insatiable urge to pry into someone's relationships, finances, or struggles. This busybody knows everyone's secrets yet neglects their own soul. Such outward focus, Plutarch held, diverts vital attention from self-improvement. When engrossed in a neighbor's drama, our focus scatters, becoming unproductive. This ancient insight resonates powerfully today. Our digital age amplifies needless curiosity. No longer do we eavesdrop, screens deliver constant streams of others' lives. This manifests as doom-scrolling, mindlessly consuming negative news. It's relentless social media checking, not to connect, but to compare, judge, and fear missing out. It's our obsession with celebrity culture, knowing intimate details of strangers while our own lives yearn for examination. This outward-focused curiosity, fueled by digital windows, becomes a profound distraction. It fragments attention, erodes mental energy, diverting us from our own growth, relationships, and well-being. How much time is spent scrolling others' highlight reels when we could be reading, learning a skill, or reflecting on our own experiences? Plutarch would see this as a vast squandering of our capacity for self-development. The ancient cure, Plutarch suggests, is to redirect this powerful impulse. Instead of allowing it to roam into others' private domains or digital noise, turn it inward and upward. Cultivate curiosity for knowledge, understanding the natural world, grappling with philosophy, mastering a craft, deepening empathy, exploring your inner landscape. Channel your desire to know into enriching your own mind and character. Ask, what can I learn today to become better, or what new skill can I acquire? This isn't ignoring the world, but engaging purposefully, filtering noise, and focusing on what truly matters for a fulfilling existence. Plutarch's wisdom is timeless. Self-mastery begins with mastering your attention and curiosity. Direct it wisely, transforming distraction into an engine for personal growth. Let go of needing everyone else's story. Invest that invaluable curiosity in writing your own, finding your ancient cure for FOMO by focusing on yourself. Welcome to Chapter 8, Finding Tranquility of Mind, where we delve into Plutarch's profound guidance for cultivating inner peace amidst life's inevitable storms. Plutarch, with the clarity of a seasoned philosopher, understood that genuine tranquility isn't a gift bestowed by external circumstances, nor the absence of problems, but rather an achievement forged within a well-ordered mind. He meticulously illustrates that relying on the whims of fate for our calm is a fool's errand. True serenity, he asserts, blossoms from our internal landscape, shaped by our responses and perspectives, not by the ever-shifting currents of the world outside us. One of Plutarch's most potent strategies for achieving this state is the importance of mentally preparing for adversity. This isn't about inviting pessimism or dwelling on potential troubles. Rather, it's about fortifying our spirit and intellect. By contemplating various misfortunes before they strike, we lessen their shock and diminish their power to overwhelm us. We learn to face them not as unexpected calamities, but as anticipated challenges for which our minds have already begun to construct a resilient defense. This mental rehearsal allows us to detach ourselves emotionally, to observe events with a calmer, more strategic outlook, rather than being swept away by fear or despair. Furthermore, Plutarch profoundly emphasizes shifting our focus from what we lack to what we already possess. He encourages a profound appreciation for the blessings in our lives, however modest, rather than an insatiable yearning for what remains out of reach. Desire, when unmanaged, becomes a relentless tormentor, forever chasing fleeting gratifications. By cultivating gratitude for our current state, our relationships, our health, our simple comforts, we dismantle the tyranny of endless wanting. This simple shift in perspective is a powerful antidote to discontent, liberating us from the cycle of comparison and envy that so often erodes our peace of mind. Finally, Plutarch offers a transformative perspective on misfortune itself. Instead of viewing external setbacks, loss, illness, betrayal as purely negative events, he advises us to interpret them as crucial opportunities for internal growth. Every challenge, he suggests, is a crucible in which our character can be tested, refined, and strengthened. A loss might teach us resilience, an illness, patience, a betrayal, the importance of self-reliance and forgiveness. By actively seeking the lessons within adversity, by consciously choosing to respond with virtue and wisdom, we transform potential suffering into profound personal development. In this way, the very forces that might otherwise shatter our tranquility become the tools by which we construct a more robust, more serene self. Plutarch's teachings, then, offer not a path to a problem-free existence, but a masterful guide to cultivating an unshakable inner calm, regardless of life's turbulent seas. Welcome back. In Chapter 9, Plutarch tackles two of humanity's most corrosive emotions, envy and hate. He dissects their anatomy, revealing how these poisons harm the person harboring them far more than their intended targets. Plutarch defines envy not merely as wishing you had what someone else possesses, but as a deep, gnawing pain at another's success, their good fortune, or their happiness. It's a bitter resentment stirred by the prosperity of others, regardless of whether that prosperity impacts you directly. Imagine the contrast. One person sees another's promotion and feels inspired. An envious person sees it and feels a sharp pang of anguish, a sense of injustice, or diminished self-worth. This inherent pain forces our focus entirely outward. Instead of concentrating on our own potential, tasks, or growth, envy shackles our minds to the achievements of others. We become obsessive observers, scrutinizing their every move, finding fault, minimizing efforts, or secretly wishing for their downfall. This constant external comparison is a thief of joy, a saboteur of peace. It prevents us from appreciating our unique journey, strengths, and opportunities. Our energy, which could be channeled into productive self-improvement, is instead squandered on bitter rumination. Plutarch's profound advice to combat this destructive impulse is strikingly simple yet profoundly challenging. Turn your focus inward. Cultivate your own garden. He urges us to concentrate on our own path, progress, and virtues. Instead of measuring ourselves against the perceived successes of others, we should measure ourselves against our former selves. Have we improved? Have we grown? Are we striving to be the best we can be? This shift from external validation to internal accountability liberates us from the tyranny of comparison. It allows us to derive satisfaction from our own efforts and achievements, however small they may seem. And what is the ultimate antidote to this insidious poison? Gratitude. Envy thrives in a vacuum of appreciation where we perceive lack and scarcity. Gratitude, conversely, floods our minds with abundance. When we actively acknowledge and cherish the blessings in our own lives, our health, relationships, talents, simple comforts, the successes of others cease to be a threat. They transform perhaps into sources of inspiration or simply fade into irrelevance to our well-being. Gratitude anchors us in the present, grounds us in our own reality, and reminds us of the inherent good that already surrounds us. It is the direct philosophical countermeasure, dissolving the bitterness of envy with the sweetness of appreciation. Thus, Plutarch concludes, the truly free and prosperous individual is not the one who has everything, but the one who has learned to rejoice in what they possess and to be content with their own honest progress, unburdened by the phantom pains of another's joy. Envy and hate are not weapons we wield against others, they are self-inflicted wounds that fester within. Welcome to Chapter 10, The Bonds of Brotherhood, where we delve into Plutarch's profound insights on the invaluable nature of sibling and fraternal relationships. These connections are often the very first we forge in life, preceding friendships, marriages, and many other significant bonds. From our earliest memories, our siblings are our confidantes, our playmates, our rivals, and our unwavering allies. They witness our formative years, share our upbringing, and often remain a constant presence throughout our entire existence, a living testament to our shared history and heritage. This unique, lifelong journey together, born from shared blood and upbringing, forms a foundational pillar of our emotional and social well-being, shaping us in ways no other relationship can. However, even the strongest bonds can be strained, and Plutarch keenly observes the dangers that can erode this natural affection. A primary culprit he identifies is parental favoritism and the insidious practice of comparing siblings. When parents overtly or subtly elevate one child above another, or constantly benchmark their achievements, it plants seeds of resentment, envy, and a destructive competitive spirit. Such comparisons breed an unhealthy rivalry, transforming the natural love between siblings into a struggle for approval and recognition. Plutarch would argue that each child possesses unique virtues and talents, and it is a parent's duty to celebrate these individual strengths rather than fostering an environment where siblings are pitted against each other, vying for a finite pool of affection and praise. Given the inherent complexities of human interaction, conflicts are inevitable even within the closest family units. Plutarch's wisdom calls for proactive forgiveness and open communication to mend any rifts. He champions the idea that grievances should not be allowed to fester, for small misunderstandings, left unaddressed, can grow into deep chasms. Brothers and sisters should cultivate a spirit of empathy, seeking to understand rather than to blame, and be swift to offer and accept forgiveness. The enduring value of the relationship, their shared past and future, should always outweigh fleeting pride or temporary anger. Open, honest dialogue, free from accusations and focused on resolution, is the bedrock upon which strong, lasting sibling bonds are maintained and strengthened. Finally, and perhaps most beautifully, Plutarch emphasizes the importance of celebrating each other's successes as if they were one's own. True fraternal love transcends self-interest, finding genuine joy and pride in a sibling's achievements and good fortune. Rather than succumbing to envy, which diminishes both the recipient and the observer, we are encouraged to actively support, cheer for, and uplift our siblings. Their triumphs are not merely personal victories, but collective affirmations of family strength and shared happiness. To rejoice in a sibling's success is a profound expression of love, reinforcing the idea that their prosperity contributes to the well-being of the entire family unit. In essence, Plutarch's bonds of brotherhood is a powerful reminder that these relationships are not merely given, but cultivated. They require conscious effort, empathy, respect, and an unwavering commitment to love over rivalry. When nurtured with care, these bonds become an enduring source of strength, comfort, and profound joy, enriching our lives immeasurably and forming a stable foundation for individual virtue and societal harmony. Welcome back to our exploration of Plutarch's timeless wisdom. In this 11th chapter, titled Advice for a Strong Partnership, we delve into one of his most fascinating and surprisingly modern treatises, Advice to Bride and Groom. Though penned for a different era, Plutarch's insights offer profound guidance for cultivating robust, loving relationships today, emphasizing mutual respect, harmony, and, crucially, deep friendship. At the heart of Plutarch's counsel is the notion of partnership, a concept that transcends the more hierarchical social structures of his time. He subtly steers away from any sense of ownership, instead advocating for two individuals embarking on a shared journey as equals. This means relinquishing the idea of possessing the other and embracing a joint venture where both contribute, both decide, and both are valued for their unique agency. A strong relationship, Plutarch implies, is not about one commanding and the other obeying, but about two distinct spirits uniting their paths with shared purpose and respect. This idea extends to the blending of interests. Plutarch doesn't suggest that partners should become indistinguishable. Rather, he encourages a beautiful fusion, like two streams merging to form a larger, more powerful river, each retaining its unique character, yet contributing to a greater whole. It's about finding common ground and shared joys, while also cherishing and supporting each other's individual passions and pursuits. You don't lose yourself, you expand your world by inviting another into it and by exploring theirs. Critical to this harmonious blend is the manner in which partners communicate. Plutarch champions gentle communication over harsh criticism. He warns against public shaming or constant fault-finding, recognizing their corrosive effect on intimacy and trust. Instead, he advises a tender, private approach when addressing disagreements or perceived flaws. Speak with kindness, offer understanding, and seek to build up rather than tear down. A gentle word, offered with love, penetrates far deeper and heals more effectively than 1,000 harsh rebukes. Ultimately, Plutarch's advice to bride and groom culminates in the profound assertion that a strong marriage is fundamentally built upon a deep, abiding friendship. Beyond romantic love, shared duties, or societal expectations, it is the genuine affection, mutual admiration, and unwavering support of a true friend that forms the most resilient foundation. When you see your partner not just as a spouse, but as your most trusted confidant, your favorite companion, and your best friend, you unlock a bond capable of enduring life's inevitable challenges and celebrating its greatest joys. Plutarch's wisdom, therefore, is not merely ancient history, it's a living guide for forging partnerships rich in respect, understanding, and enduring affection. These principles, honed by centuries, remain as relevant now as they were 2 millennia ago, offering a pathway to relationships that truly thrive. Welcome back to Plutarch's Morals. Today, Chapter 12 on having many friends, a discourse profoundly relevant for our digital age. Plutarch, millennia ago, offers a bracing antidote to modern obsession with follower counts and expansive social networks. He challenges the notion that many acquaintances equate to a rich social life, arguing that trying to be friends with everyone means being a true friend to no one. Consider our contemporary landscape. We often measure social worth by connection volume, accumulating digital friends whose interactions are fleeting, superficial. Plutarch would view this critically. Genuine friendship isn't a passive collection of contacts, it's an active, demanding art. True friendship demands significant time and profound emotional investment. It isn't built on pleasantries or shared memes. It requires vulnerability, sharing deepest thoughts, and consistent effort to understand and support another's soul. This depth cannot be achieved with dozens, let alone hundreds. Our emotional resources are finite. How do we distinguish superficiality from genuine connection? A superficial friendship often manifests as mutual convenience and event chat, a specific purpose acquaintance, or digital emoji reactions. These connections, while pleasant, lack true intimacy's foundational pillars. They rarely withstand adversity or offer profound counsel. A deep, genuine friendship, conversely, is characterized by unwavering loyalty, honest critique, and unconditional support. It's the friend who calls you out, celebrates triumphs, and sits with you in darkest hours without judgment. It's a bond forged in shared experiences, tested through time, enriched by mutual respect and understanding. These relationships make you feel truly seen. Plutarch's warning is clear: scattering affections and energies too widely dilutes friendship's essence. Cultivating true intimacy with many inevitably spreads us too thin. Each bond becomes shallower, less meaningful, leaving us with acquaintances but no true confidantes. Attempting to be all things to all people renders us nothing substantial to anyone. The timeless wisdom focus invaluable energy on a small, core group of trusted friends. Cultivate these relationships with intention, care, and dedication. Invest time, empathy, and genuine self into these select few. Within this intimate circle, you'll discover the profound joy, unwavering support, and intellectual stimulation defining true companionship. This isn't exclusion, but prioritizing genuine depth over performative breadth. We honor Plutarch's sagacious counsel, enriching lives with quality connections that truly matter. Welcome to Chapter 13, The Art of Conversation, where we delve into Plutarch's timeless wisdom on becoming not just a speaker, but a truly welcome presence in any gathering. Plutarch understood that the true measure of a person often lies not in what they say, but in how they engage with others. First and foremost, Plutarch advises us to avoid the siren call of self-absorption. A good conversationalist never monopolizes the discussion, nor does he constantly steer every topic back to his own experiences or achievements. Such behavior is tiresome and alienating. Instead, practice the art of generous listening. Let others speak, truly hear what they say, and resist the urge to interrupt or dominate. Remember, a conversation is a shared dance, not a solo performance. Secondly, and flowing directly from the first point, cultivate the habit of asking thoughtful questions. This isn't about interrogation, but about genuine curiosity. Thoughtful questions draw others out, making them feel valued and heard. They invite deeper engagement and can uncover unexpected connections. By seeking to understand rather than simply to be understood, you enrich the entire exchange for everyone present. Plutarch also recognized the delicate balance between levity and gravitas. Know when to use humor and when to be serious. A well-placed witticism can lighten the mood and foster camaraderie, but ill-timed jokes can disrupt serious discussion or even cause offense. Conversely, maintaining an overly solemn demeanor can stifle spontaneity and warmth. The wise conversationalist possesses the discernment to gauge the atmosphere and adjust their tone accordingly, knowing when to offer a smile and when to offer a sober reflection. Finally, and this is crucial for anyone with knowledge to share, impart your wisdom without arrogance or pedantry. Plutarch himself was a man of immense learning, yet he knew that true education is about enlightenment, not exhibitionism. Share your insights not to impress, but to contribute to the discussion. Offer information as a gift, framing it as a perspective rather than an undeniable truth. Avoid jargon, excessive detail, or correcting others unnecessarily. The goal is to illuminate, not to overshadow. To elevate the discussion, not to diminish those participating. By embracing these principles, humility, respect, and a genuine desire to add value, you transform yourself from a mere talker into an esteemed guest, a cherished friend, and a master of the enduring art of conversation. Welcome back to our exploration of Plutarch's morals. Today, we turn our attention to a chapter brimming with timeless wisdom, perhaps more relevant now than ever, Chapter 14, The Education of Children. Here, Plutarch lays out a profoundly insightful philosophy on nurturing the young, one that starkly contrasts with many prevailing educational models throughout history. For Plutarch, the purpose of education extends far beyond the mere accumulation of facts. It is fundamentally about the cultivation of character, the shaping of a moral individual capable of critical thought and virtuous action. He posits that true education hinges upon a strong foundation of character and values. It isn't enough to impart knowledge, one must also instill a robust moral compass, an understanding of ethical principles, and the fortitude to live by them. For Plutarch, a child schooled only in letters but devoid of virtue is like a beautiful ship without a rudder, impressive to behold, but ultimately adrift and without direction. Moral training, therefore, is not a supplement to academic instruction, but its indispensable core, guiding all other learning towards a noble purpose. This deep conviction leads to one of Plutarch's most enduring and frequently quoted metaphors regarding the nature of the mind. He famously asserts that the mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. This powerful image challenges the rote memorization and passive reception of information that so often characterize learning. Instead, Plutarch advocates for an active, inquisitive process. Education, in his view, should ignite a child's inherent curiosity, fanning the flames of independent thought, critical reasoning, and a genuine passion for understanding. It's about sparking an internal light that illuminates their path, rather than simply pouring in information they may or may not retain. This approach empowers children to question, to explore, and to discover truths for themselves, fostering intellectual autonomy. Furthermore, Plutarch emphasizes the profound impact of adult behavior on a child's development. He astutely observes that children learn far more from what you do than from what you say. Leading by example is not merely advisable, it is absolutely crucial. Parents and educators are constant role models, their actions, attitudes, and responses serving as living lessons. If we preach honesty but practice deceit, or demand patience while exhibiting impatience, children will discern the hypocrisy and internalize the actions, not the words. Therefore, integrity, consistency, and genuine virtue in adults are paramount in shaping the character of the young. It's through witnessing integrity that children truly grasp its meaning and importance. Finally, Plutarch champions a gentle, encouraging approach to fostering a love of learning. He warns against coercion or forced study, recognizing that such methods often breed resentment and extinguish natural curiosity. Instead, he advocates for guidance that nurtures a child's intrinsic desire to explore and understand. Learning, when approached with curiosity and genuine interest, becomes a joyful journey of discovery, not a tedious chore. By presenting knowledge in an engaging, age-appropriate manner, by answering questions patiently, and by allowing space for exploration, we cultivate a lifelong love of learning that originates from within the child, rather than being imposed from without. In essence, Plutarch's philosophy on educating children is a holistic call to action, to raise not just intelligent individuals, but virtuous, self-aware, and critically thinking citizens who are equipped not only with knowledge, but with the moral strength and internal spark to navigate the complexities of life with integrity and wisdom. Welcome to Chapter 15, Finding Life Lessons in Art and Stories. In our content-rich world, Plutarch's advice on consuming narratives remains profoundly relevant. For him, poetry was paramount, a force shaping character. Today, we substitute films, TV, novels, or even games. The core idea endures: stories aren't just entertainment, they're potent vehicles for moral education. We must engage critically, discerning wisdom from the trivial, good from the harmful. Plutarch understood that the tales we immerse ourselves in profoundly influence our values. Narratives foster empathy, offer varied perspectives, and present dilemmas, letting us explore solutions safely. They subtly or overtly implant ideas about what is admirable, contemptible, heroic, or ruinous. Recognizing this power is the first step in ethical consumption. When engaging with any narrative, Plutarch advises looking beyond surface judgments. Don't simply label characters good or bad. Actively seek their virtues even amidst flaws. A tragic hero might possess immense courage despite arrogance. A cunning villain could display extraordinary intelligence or loyalty to their cause, however misguided. Identifying these positive attributes helps us appreciate human complexity. It's not about condoning mistakes, but extracting valuable qualities that, isolated from destructive counterparts, can still serve as positive examples. Beyond recognizing virtues, the truly transformative skill Plutarch advocates is analyzing the consequences of characters' actions. Every choice, grand or small, ripples outwards, shaping destiny. Did ambition lead to downfall? Did honesty, despite hardship, bring greater good? Tracing these cause and effect chains provides practical ethical insight. We learn what behaviors are sustainable, what brings genuine happiness, and what paths lead to sorrow. This mental exercise allows us to safely test moral hypotheses and internalize lessons about prudence, justice, and self-control. Now, apply this ancient wisdom to modern media. The next time you watch a film, binge a series, or read a book, approach it with Plutarch's critical eye. Ask what virtues are showcased, even unconventionally. What are the characters' choices and their ultimate consequences? Do these align with my understanding of justice or morality? What elements might be harmful or promote negative values, and how can I consciously discard them? By applying this discerning lens, we transform passive entertainment into active learning. We become cultivators of our moral gardens, selecting what seeds to plant and what weeds to pull, using art and stories as rich soil for growth. Welcome to Chapter 16, where we delve into Plutarch's sharp critique of superstition, contrasting it with genuine piety. For Plutarch, superstition isn't merely quaint, it's a profound spiritual sickness, a debilitating fear. He depicts a mind enslaved, believing in a pantheon not of benevolent or just deities, but of petty vindictive gods or unseen forces, constantly poised to punish. It's a terrifying fear-based conviction that truly weighs down the human spirit. Imagine living under such constant spiritual tyranny. Superstition, in Plutarch's view, creates perpetual anxiety, a gnawing dread in every aspect of life. It compels irrational, often self-defeating rituals to appease these imagined wrathful powers. One might avoid a crucial appointment due to a perceived omen, or spend an entire day's wages on unnecessary offerings, fearing divine retribution. The superstitious person is forever looking over their shoulder, interpreting every coincidence as a divine sign, every misfortune as targeted punishment. Their life becomes an unending dance around perceived cosmic pitfalls, dictated not by reason or reverence, but by sheer terror. This debilitating state stands in stark opposition to what Plutarch considers true piety or healthy reverence for a higher order. Genuine faith, as he sees it, is founded on reason, contemplation, and belief in benevolent providence. It inspires gratitude, ethical behavior, and cosmic harmony rather than dread. A truly pious individual finds comfort and guidance, leading to inner peace and constructive action, not irrational panic. They approach the divine with respect and awe, understanding its majesty without projecting human flaws like vengeance. This is a faith that elevates, not crushes, the human spirit. Plutarch argues it's demonstrably better to be a thoughtful skeptic, or even an outright atheist, than to be ensnared by such a terrifying fear-based system. An atheist, he contends, denies gods but lives free from the oppressive terror of constantly offending them. They might miss faith's comforts, but gain tranquility unburdened by irrational fears of divine wrath. The skeptic examines the world with reason, questioning phenomena rather than attributing them to capricious deities. While not an atheist himself, Plutarch saw the atheist's freedom from superstitious dread as a lesser evil compared to the mental anguish and self-inflicted misery of the fear-driven devotee. Superstition, for Plutarch, isn't just a flawed belief, it's a profound form of suffering, a greater burden than even the absence of faith itself. Welcome to Chapter 17 on Exile and Facing Adversity. We dread loss and displacement, but Plutarch's morals offer profound lessons. The concept of exile, of being uprooted, is a powerful lens to examine our resilience and capacity for growth even amidst the deepest loss. When stripped of external comforts, your land, possessions, community, what remains? Plutarch teaches that your truest home isn't a place, but your character. It's the moral fiber, integrity and virtues you cultivate within. This inner sanctuary is portable, unassailable. No decree, conqueror, or fate can seize it. Your character travels with you always, an unyielding fortress of self. Indeed, in adversity's crucible, true strength is tested and revealed. Prosperity often masks weaknesses, but loss and displacement strip away the superficial, forcing us to confront ourselves without external props. Here, we uncover reserves of resilience and fortitude we never knew existed. This isn't just survival, it's profound self-discovery, where your essential strength shines brightest. Furthermore, while painful, a forced change in location offers vital, fresh perspective. Removed from familiar routines and biases, we gain a unique vantage point. It's a chance to see the world and ourselves with fresh eyes, unburdened by past conventions. This shift sparks innovation, new understandings, and alternative paths, a powerful catalyst for reinvention. Crucially, even amidst despair, Plutarch compels us your keen mind, hard-won virtues, justice, temperance, courage, your cherished memories, and your inner world. These treasures no external power can confiscate, no misfortune diminish. They remain the constant source of your identity, happiness, and power to influence what's within your control. They are the bedrock upon which you can rebuild and thrive, no matter where you find yourself. So, whether facing personal upheaval or displacement, Plutarch's wisdom offers a compass. Embrace that your essence is inviolable. Let adversity refine, not define you. Discover opportunities hidden within change, and cherish the unassailable wealth of your inner self. For in this, you are never truly exiled, you are simply relocated to where your true strength can shine. Welcome to Chapter 18 of Plutarch's Morals, a deep dive into humanity's persistent and perplexing passion, the love of wealth. Plutarch, ever the keen observer, examines greed's corrupting influence, revealing why the endless pursuit of riches often leads not to happiness, but misery. First, let us draw a crucial distinction, one Plutarch makes implicitly and explicitly throughout his writings. There is a profound difference between possessing enough for a good, virtuous, and comfortable life and harboring an insatiable desire for more. Having sufficient means to meet your needs, to care for your family, and to contribute to your community is not only acceptable but commendable. The problem, as Plutarch identifies it, arises when enough becomes an ever-receding horizon, a phantom that vanishes the closer you get. Indeed, Plutarch astutely observes a perverse psychological truth: the desire for wealth often grows precisely as wealth itself grows. It's a thirst that cannot be quenched by drinking salt water. One might imagine that accumulating vast sums would finally bring contentment. Yet for many, each new acquisition merely expands their definition of what they lack. The wealthy often feel poorer than those with far less, simply because their aspirations have bloated out of all proportion to their means. However considerable those means may be, their wants multiply faster than their possessions. This brings us to Plutarch's potent argument about the true nature of affluence. He posits that true wealth lies not in having many possessions, but in having few wants. This is a radical redefinition. To be truly rich is to be content with what is sufficient, to find joy in simplicity, and to free oneself from the relentless demands of material acquisition. It's about cultivating an inner abundance that is independent of external circumstances, a freedom from the tyranny of more. Such freedom is a stark contrast to the anxiety and moral compromises that invariably accompany greed. The greedy individual is perpetually plagued by worry over losing what they have, worry over what others possess, worry over opportunities missed. This constant fear gnaws at their peace of mind. Moreover, the pursuit of insatiable wealth often necessitates ethical shortcuts. Integrity is sacrificed for profit, honesty is compromised for advantage, and human relationships are often instrumentalized or discarded in the ruthless climb upwards. The cost of greed isn't just financial, it's a profound depletion of one's moral character and inner tranquility. Plutarch's wisdom here is timeless. He cautions us that the love of wealth, when it becomes boundless, is a destructive passion, chaining us to an endless cycle of dissatisfaction, anxiety, and moral decay. True prosperity, he suggests, is found in moderation, self-sufficiency, and the cultivation of a rich inner life, rather than in the ceaseless accumulation of external riches. Welcome to Chapter 19, where Plutarch lays bare a danger as ancient as it is enduring the perils of borrowing money. His message isn't merely a caution, it's a stark, unvarnished warning, framing debt not just as a financial inconvenience, but as a form of self-imposed slavery that utterly robs you of your freedom and peace of mind. Imagine for a moment being bound, not by chains of iron, but by invisible obligations. Plutarch argues that debt restricts your choices, narrowing your future prospects. When you owe, your decisions are no longer solely your own. The job you take, the risks you consider, even opportunities you pass up, all become dictated by the need to repay. You lose the liberty to pursue passions, relocate, or even take a break, because every step must first answer to creditors. Your life becomes an endless calculation of what you must do, rather than what you wish to do. Beyond practical limitations, Plutarch keenly observes the crushing psychological burden of owing money. The constant gnawing anxiety, the shame of dependence, the erosion of self-respect, these are the unseen weights debt places upon the soul. It haunts your waking hours and disturbs your sleep, creating perpetual unease. The debtor, he suggests, is never truly free, even in solitude, for the shadow of obligation looms, casting a pall over every thought and feeling. This mental servitude is, for Plutarch, often more debilitating than any physical constraint. Plutarch is particularly scathing when it comes to borrowing for luxuries and frivolous items. He sees this as the height of folly, sacrificing genuine independence for fleeting pleasures or shallow displays of wealth. Why mortgage your future, he challenges, for fineries, grand feasts, or possessions that merely inflate your ego? These are not necessities, but rather temptations leading directly to bondage. He implores us to distinguish between true needs and manufactured desires, understanding that pursuing the latter through borrowing only deepens the chains of servitude. Instead, Plutarch advocates for the profound and lasting freedom that comes from living strictly within your means. Through frugality, discipline, and a clear understanding of your true financial limits, one achieves genuine independence. To owe no man anything, save perhaps love and kindness, is to claim sovereignty over your own life, decisions, and peace of mind. This is not merely financial advice, it is a philosophy for living a life unburdened, self-sufficient, and truly free. Embrace this path and your future is truly your own. Welcome back to Plutarch's Morals. Chapter 20, Advice on Politics and Leadership, offers a timeless meditation on what it means to guide a community. Plutarch, a keen observer of human nature and governance, provides profound insights for those in public life, asserting that integrity, service, and self-control are the bedrock of true leadership. Foremost, Plutarch asserts that a leader must first learn to rule themselves. How can one govern a nation if their own passions remain untamed? Self-mastery isn't just a personal virtue, it's the prerequisite for political authority. A leader consumed by avarice, ambition, or anger loses credibility and sound judgment. Genuine self-control, Plutarch stresses, fosters the wisdom and impartiality essential for effective governance, providing a moral compass for public duty. This leads to the very purpose of political engagement. For Plutarch, politics' goal should be public service, not personal gain. He warns against those entering public life solely for wealth, fame, or power. Such individuals, driven by self-interest, inevitably corrupt the system and betray citizens' trust. The true statesman, conversely, dedicates efforts to the Commonwealth's welfare, viewing their role as a sacred trust to uplift and protect the community, ensuring justice, prosperity, and peace. Furthermore, Plutarch strongly admonishes against factionalism's corrosive effects. A leader, he argues, must rise above partisan divisions, actively seeking the common good over narrow interests or tribal loyalties. The polis's unity and harmony are paramount. A leader's duty is to bridge divides, foster consensus, and remind citizens of their shared destiny. To pit groups against each other or exploit divisions for political advantage undermines the state's foundations. Finally, Plutarch offers a humanistic definition of power. True power, he teaches, isn't derived from force, fear, or inherited privilege, but from earning the people's voluntary respect. It's the willing assent of the governed, gained through consistent virtue, unwavering justice, and demonstrable concern for their well-being. A leader commanding respect through wisdom, fairness, and genuine service wields authority far more potent and enduring than any tyrant. This respect is leadership's ultimate currency, strengthening community and legitimizing governance. In sum, Plutarch's advice remains strikingly relevant. Leaders must first master themselves, then serve the public good, act as unifying forces, and ultimately earn power through the people's respect. These are the timeless hallmarks of integrity, service, and self-control defining true leadership. Now, understanding Plutarch's wisdom is one thing, integrating it daily is another. To make these ancient insights truly practical, I've designed a concrete, week-long challenge for you, your 7-day Plutarch Challenge. Think of it as a moral workout designed to gently sculpt your character and sharpen your ethical awareness. Let's begin. Days 1 and 2 practice active listening. Plutarch valued clear communication and understanding. For these first 2 days, choose just one conversation each day, perhaps with a colleague or a friend. During that interaction, your sole focus should be on truly understanding the other person. Put aside your desire to formulate a response or interrupt. Just listen, absorb, and seek to comprehend their perspective. Notice how this simple shift changes the dynamic. Day 3, tame your anger. Plutarch often warned against the destructive power of uncontrolled passion. When you feel a surge of anger today, whether mild or intense, institute a 10-second pause. Before you react, before you speak, just stop. Use those seconds to identify the trigger. What exactly is making you angry? Is it the situation or your interpretation? This brief moment of self-awareness can be a powerful circuit breaker. Days 4 and 5, do a friendship audit. Friendship was paramount to Plutarch. Over these 2 days, take time to reflect on one specific friendship in your life. Be honest with yourself. Is this friendship founded on truth, mutual respect, and genuine care? Or is there an element of flattery, self-interest, or insincerity at play, either from you or the other person? This isn't about judgment, but about seeking authenticity. Day 6, mindful consumption. Plutarch, were he alive today, would observe our modern fascination with needless curiosity. For this entire day, make a conscious effort to avoid exactly that. Steer clear of celebrity gossip, don't get drawn into online arguments, and resist the urge to endlessly scroll through trivial news feeds. Redirect that mental energy towards something more constructive, or simply embrace moments of quiet. Observe how much mental space this frees up. Day 7, reflect on progress. You've spent a week actively engaging with these ancient principles. On this final day, find just 5 minutes to journal. Don't overthink it. Simply reflect on one small moral progress you made during the week. Maybe you listened more intently, or paused before reacting to anger, or recognized a deeper truth in a friendship. Acknowledge that small step forward. This isn't about perfection, but about the consistent, deliberate effort to improve. And there you have it, your 7-day Plutarch challenge. Remember, the journey of moral development is lifelong. This challenge is merely a starting point, a practical invitation to integrate profound wisdom into your everyday life. Embrace it with curiosity and an open mind, and you might just surprise yourself with the quiet shifts you begin to experience. We've journeyed through the timeless wisdom of Plutarch's morals, exploring the profound insights that can elevate our lives and bring clarity to our purpose. Now let's distill these ancient lessons into 3 unforgettable pillars, core principles you can carry with you and apply every single day to build a life of virtue, resilience, and genuine fulfillment. First, and perhaps most fundamentally, remember this profound truth: your character is your choice. Plutarch consistently reminds us that virtue isn't an inherited trait or a stroke of luck. It is meticulously forged through deliberate, repeated action. You are, quite literally, what you repeatedly do. Your habits, both the grand gestures and the small, unnoticed daily practices, are the true architects of your character. Every choice, every reaction, every small daily practice contributes to the person you become. Choose wisely, choose consciously, for in doing so, you choose your very self, shaping your destiny brick by brick. The second pillar speaks to the most crucial battleground any of us will face: master your inner world. Plutarch understood with profound clarity that true freedom and lasting peace aren't found in external circumstances, but in the sovereignty of your own mind. Your emotions, your fleeting desires, and your boundless curiosities are incredibly powerful forces. Left unchecked, they can easily dictate your actions, lead you astray into regrettable paths, and relentlessly erode your inner peace. To live a truly flourishing life, a life of wisdom and calm, you must learn to govern these often turbulent internal currents. Practice self-awareness, cultivate reason, and exercise deliberate control over these impulses, lest your inner landscape become a chaotic storm that dictates your outer reality. Be the master of your mind, not its helpless slave. Finally, the third cornerstone of a truly rich and meaningful Plutarchian life is to cultivate genuine connections. In a world often obsessively focused on material gain, individual achievement, or superficial status, Plutarch grounds us in the profound, unwavering truth that our deepest and most enduring wealth lies not in possessions, not in accolades, but in the quality of our relationships. The strong, loving bonds you forge with friends, the unconditional love you share with family, the supportive communities you actively nurture, these are the true, invaluable treasures of human existence. Invest deeply in these relationships, care genuinely for those around you, and practice loyalty, empathy, and kindness without reservation. For in the rich, intricate tapestry of shared lives and mutual support, you will find meaning, profound joy, and an unbreakable strength that no solitary pursuit can ever truly provide. So, as you step forward from this exploration of Plutarch's morals, carry these three pillars close, choose your character with unwavering intent, master your inner world with disciplined self-awareness, and cultivate genuine connections with all your heart. These are the timeless keys to a life well lived, a life that truly resonates with Plutarch's profound and enduring wisdom. We've journeyed through the timeless wisdom of Plutarch's morals, exploring the depths of human character and the nuances of ethical living. But this exploration doesn't have to end here. In fact, I hope it's just the beginning of your own continued journey with these profound ideas. Now, I'd genuinely love to hear from you. As we reflect on the many profound insights Plutarch offered, tell me, which piece of Plutarch's advice resonated most with you and why? Share your thoughts and reflections in the comments section below. Your perspectives enrich this shared pursuit of wisdom, and I always look forward to reading them. If you found value in this discussion, if Plutarch's ancient wisdom sparked new thoughts or affirmed old truths, please consider giving this video a like. Your engagement helps this wisdom reach more seekers. And if you're eager for more ancient wisdom, for modern times insights that bridge centuries and offer practical guidance for contemporary life, then be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hitting that notification bell will ensure you don't miss our future explorations into classical thought. Philosophy, especially practical philosophy like Plutarch's, truly thrives in conversation and shared reflection. If you know someone who grapples with similar questions or simply appreciates profound classical thought, I encourage you to share this video with them. Let's spread this enduring legacy of wisdom together, fostering a community of thoughtful individuals. For those keen to delve even deeper into the original texts and experience Plutarch's brilliance firsthand, I highly recommend a specific edition that makes his profound essays remarkably accessible to modern readers. The Essays by Plutarch, translated by Robin Waterfield, published by Oxford World's Classics. Waterfield's translation is both scholarly and remarkably readable, making the intricate world of Plutarch's ethics come alive with clarity and insight. You'll find a direct link to this recommended volume in the description below, along with other curated resources to further aid your study. Thank you for joining me on this intellectual adventure, for your curiosity, and for your willingness to engage with these timeless teachings. Keep questioning, keep learning, and keep striving for that virtuous life Plutarch so eloquently described. Until next time, may your journey be filled with discovery and moral clarity.